Hello! So we're now going to jump right into doing some watercolor painting. So I have my watercolor pad, I have a pencil, I have my brushes, I've laid down some paper towel right here, which can be used for blotting, but I also have the entire roll because I'll probably be dabbing from just that, but I won't put it there for video purposes. And I have my paints. That's why it's casting a shadow, because I have my paints dangling off the second shelf right here. And I also have my jar of water with all my brushes cleaning it. I'm going to be showing you guys a tutorial of how you actually do watercolor. You should try to do a couple of techniques and exercises if you've never actually done watercolor before. It's mainly just to introduce you to the paint. Once you become comfortable with the paint, that's the magic, where you actually take it. So first step, I want you guys to take your pencil and just want you to draw a square. And you're going to find a medium-sized brush, like so. And you're going to get some color on there. And what color should I use? I'm going to be using green. And you're going to wet down your paints. So you have like a lot of color on your brush. And you're just going to pull down 2 strokes. You're going to go back, you're going to add a little bit more water. And you have to work fairly fast with this. You're now going to put down another 2 row colors and just kind of go back and always pulling the color in one direction. Don't be like back and forth. You just want to pull it to one side. See, you don't want to start halfway either. You want to work from one corner to the next, just bringing it through. Alright, add a little bit more water. Load out your paintbrush. And when you're pulling, you want to go nice and gentle. You don't want to be heavy and hard. When you're doing this, you're just trying to get paint right on there. Nice long even strokes to one side. I'm just going to frame this. Okay, so basically the exercise that you've done right now is you have just learned how to do a wash. So you just washed it, right? This is really good when you want to get down large blocks of color, and you should probably practice so you don't, so it's all just one clean one. I'm already seeing I've made a couple of mistakes here. If I was a grade it, I'd be like, what the hell's that? What's this? Come on. And the reason why I probably did that is because the paint started to dry up here, and I started to add more water, and I went back. Yeah. You could probably go over that a couple of times. But you have to wait. If you're going to go over next time, you gotta wait for it to dry. But pretty much, practice doing this several times. I'll wait. Moving off. This is the scary thing about watercolor pads. Oh, see? See? What's up with that? Frightening. That's why I'm like, get a pad if you're going to be doing practice work on, so you can actually practice pulling the pages out. So this is still a little wet, but we're going to move on to the next exercise. And again, you're just going to draw a square. And what you want to do is you want to go in and you want to get like one of the thinnest brushes you have, right? And you just want to go in. See if we can get some yellow. And you just want to do some lines going across there. You can practice with like 3 different colors, 4 different colors. Oh, there wasn't enough paint on there. And getting to use, what you're doing now is that you're pretty much just getting used to what your brushes can do. That brush is too small. I'm going to grab a little bigger one just so I can show you guys. But really, what you're doing right now is you're basically learning what your paintbrushes can do, and actually applying the paint and trying to go and always try to perfect having straight, clear lines of color. And really, this is just getting you clarified, I guess, would be the word, on what your brushes can and can't do. But this other exercise, it also teaches you brush control. So you can do several different studies of these. You can try to like not touch any of the other color lines. Oops, you gotta leave a little bit of space in. Or you want to do it so intricate that all the colors are pretty much almost in one-on-one on each other. So it's kind of a cool exercise if you keep doing it. I mean, if you do it every single day, quite possibly you got a good thing going. Alright, and then you're going to take a pencil and you're going to put troll, There we go. Okay, so that's your second exercise. This is just to really help you, give you some techniques and better control or discovering what your brushes can or can't do, because, you know, the more you familiar yourself with your tools, the better you will be at using them. Okay. Oh, that was a good clean rip. Okay, so the next exercise, ooh, gradients. Okay, so you're going to start out with a big block, like so, another square, and I'm going to go in and get this nice big fat brush. And I'm going to grab some blue, right, and I'm just going to do almost what we did with the first one. We're going to start to do a fill, and I'm just going to put as much color down as I possibly can. And then very quickly I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab some water, and now I'm just going to, you can try rolling your brush, that's one way you can do it, or you can use straight strokes, but pretty much you're just going to be grabbing the color from up here and you're going to be working from one side to the other, pulling color down to like about halfway. So now I'm going to clean off my brush, load it up with a lot of water, and then I'm just going to very slowly pull down. There we go. So now we just let the piece dry. Alright, so pretty much what we've done, we've changed the gradient from dark or intense to light or soft. So really much this is just a practice exercise so you understand the principles and values of using this certain technique in your watercolor. Alright, next Again, we're going to draw our little window, and we're going to go, and we're not going to put any paint on our paintbrush. We're actually going to clean off the paint as best we can. Okay, you can just see the color coming off. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to just put straight water onto the watercolor. Just wash it around. Now, with the same brush, I'm going to go in and I'm just going to touch up some color. And just apply it in the space where the water is. So practicing these techniques will give you a better understanding of the relationship between how much water or how much color you actually use on your brush. It also gets you used to actually using your materials and your tools, which is very important. Now, here's another technique. Taking off the paint by using a piece of paper towel, rolling it, dabbing it again, and repeating the process. And you can actually put texture and shape in the more creative you actually get. But if you have too much paint, like I do in this corner here, and I just need to soak it up, I very lightly drag it over top. I don't know what I see, but this is basically your ink block test. I'm really just trying to experiment using the intensity of a wet canvas with application. So we're just going to call this our mess. It's a really cool technique to use if you're working on your application pieces. So be gone with ye. Now I'm going to give you guys a quick little lesson about taking a regular sketch and putting watercolor to it. So I have my sketch down that I've done in watercolor, and I'm pretty satisfied with it, except for the feet. I know she wears boots, but I have to give her classy lady shoes. But basically what I'm going to do now is really lightly, I'm just going to see if I can erase some of my lines. I just want to give an idea of what I'm doing. And the reason why you're going to do this is because if you don't try to erase some of these lines, they're going to show through the actual piece. Like, you're actually going to see the color coming through the watercolor. So okay, so now you have your really sketchy sketch. So what I'm going to do now is, I think I'm actually going to use a couple of techniques going here. I'm going to go through, oh, there's already some paint on there, but that's the color we're going for. A nice wash of color in the hair. And I'm going to go back in, I'm going to get a medium brush. I'm going to go back into this color and I'm just going to see where it takes me. Right on. So I'm going to let that dry for a bit, and I'm going to get a medium-sized brush, clean it off a bit. I'm going to go into the blue. I'm just going to see if I could just pull some color over the dress she has on. Just doing a wash of color. When I get to the curves, I want to start Just moving the brush around, get a more circular move. Because she's a lady, she got curves. Blot some of this paint. Just make it darker where you need to go darker. And you will save yourself headache and time if you start from one side of the area to the other in nice smooth lines. And it's still kind of wet. I could start doing some shading by adding another color and blending it. You want to go really soft when you blend. And you want to make sure to get the most interesting effects that you use as much water as possible. Seeing if I can put some color down here. If you're unsure of what you're doing, you can always put a really light layer down and just pull the color down with it. And again, pull the color to one side. And one side only to get the desired wash. You can slightly blend your brush into where there's more color to kind of break it up with the water, to kind of thin it out, to dispense it. For the eyes, I kind of want to go in. I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to say her eyes are brown. And don't be afraid of what happens. It might be the best thing ever to happen. Let me put some cheeks in. And again, one side over. I'm just going to put some shadows in. Okay, so, oh wait. Hey, little baby shoes. Okay, so we're going to let that dry, and then I'm going to show you guys how you can finish it. Alright, so now I'm going to show you some things you can do to finish your piece. You want to make sure everything is completely dry, and you can tell by just looking at it first. Make sure it's dry before you actually go and try to touch it, because you don't accidentally want to take some of the paint off. And you do this just by tilting it and making sure to see if it's dry or not. I'm saying that's dry. So I'm going to take one of my Copic markers and I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to put some lines down. There we go. So I wanted to leave it still kind of nice and light and airy because that's the effect that we're going for watercolor. And last thing you want to do is you want to sign it, date it, archive it, review it. So pretty much that's like an intro for what you can do with watercolor. Now that you can see that it's finished and it's dry, you can see all the cool effects that you can really get with watercolor is when you actually see it finished. Just how intense and blendy or where the water actually took you. So that is my lesson of the basics of watercolor. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope to see whatever you guys come up with. You don't necessarily have to do Kumatora. I would like it better if you guys did your own sketches and added some color to it. Just kind of experiment, work quickly, and see where it takes you.